I fell head over heels in love with this man immediately I saw him. I'm 20 years old, and it all started when this fine man moved into our apartment complex. A quick background: I live with my elder sister, and I've been living with her for almost 2 years. Anyways, life was pretty normal and boring until this guy moved into our apartment complex. Let's call him Adam. He was tall and dark and with a smile that could light up a town. Adam moved into an apartment just 2 rooms down from ours, and the first time I saw him, I nearly tripped over my own feet. I mean, this guy was the definition of tall, dark, and handsome. At first, I was worried he might have a girlfriend. I didn't want to risk making a move only to have my heart broken, so I decided to observe him from a distance. For the first month after he moved in, I didn't see any woman visiting him, which gave me a bit of hope. Now, I have this friend who lives in one of the upstairs apartments. Let's call her Eva. She and I became close friends since I moved in with my sister. Eva has been like a sister to me. We share everything with each other. Naturally, when Adam moved in and I started crashing on him, Eva was the first person I confided in. She supported me and even prayed that Adam didn't have a girlfriend. During this period, Adam and I were on greeting terms. I would smile and greet him whenever we crossed paths, and he would smile and greet back. From the way he looked at me, I could swear he felt something too. After a month of seeing no woman around him, I decided it was time to make my move. One day, I saw Adam standing on the veranda, engrossed in his phone. My heart raced, but I gathered my courage and went up to him. I greeted him and asked him if I could borrow his iPhone charger because mine had just stopped working. He was just my type, and talking to him for the first time made my heart beat faster. We exchanged names formally, even though I already knew his name. After he handed me the charger, we started talking about how iPhone chargers often break easily. I pretended that I had just bought mine a week ago, and we laughed about it. He told me to keep it and that he had a spare one. He also took my number that day, and that is how my friendship with Adam began. I called Eva as soon as I got to my apartment. I was so excited to tell her that I finally talked to Adam and borrowed his charger. That night, I went to bed imagining my life with him. I could already see us standing at the altar, exchanging vows. I wanted Adam so much, and since it seemed there was no woman in his life, I was ready to go all in. But there was one problem: my sister. She always told me to stay away from men and focus on my studies. If she found out what I was planning, she would be upset. So I decided to keep everything a secret. Early the next morning, Eva came over and we started planning on how to make Adam notice me more. We talked about different ideas like bumping into him casually or starting small conversations. A few days later, we got the perfect chance when the power went out. The whole apartment complex was dark and my sister was still awake. I was sitting on the veranda with Eva talking when we saw Adam come out of his apartment to check on his generator. As he was returning, he waved to us and went back inside. I still hadn't figured out how to approach him without seeming desperate. Then Eva had an idea. She suggested we go to his door and ask if we could charge our phones since the power was out. This would give me a chance to talk to him more and get to know him better. My heart was racing, but I knew this was my best chance. We grabbed our phones and went to Adam's door. I knocked, trying to stay calm. When Adam opened the door, we explained our situation about needing to charge our phones. He invited us in, and I felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. And I thought this was my chance to get closer to him and start building a connection. But nothing could prepare me for what was about to happen next. After we entered his apartment, Adam showed us where to charge our phones. I was silently praying he would invite us to stay while our phones charged. Just as we were about to leave, he asked if we wanted to stay and watch TV. My heart was pounding with excitement. We sat down on the sofa and I found myself right beside him. Adam told us the name of the movie we were about to watch. Even though Eva and I had both seen it before, we pretended it was our first time. The movie was really funny, and soon we were all laughing and vibing together. I was having a great time getting to know Adam better, and I was really liking what I was seeing. When the movie ended, I didn't want to leave. I knew our phones would be fully charged by now. I was hoping Adam would ask us to stay longer. Just then, he suggested we watch another movie since the power wasn't back yet. I nodded excitedly and agreed. Adam offered us something to drink and we said yes. As soon as he left the room, I whispered to Eva that she should leave a little while after he returned so I could be alone with him. She smiled and agreed. The next movie Adam chose was quite steamy. I found myself beginning to sweat despite the cold room. About 30 minutes after he returned, Eva was still sitting there. I tapped her waist to signal her to leave, but she whispered, "Wait." I didn't understand why she wasn't leaving. The scenes in the movie were getting more intense, with lots of kissing and making out. Suddenly, I felt Adam's hand on the side of my body. At first, it just rested there, but then he started massaging my side, which was definitely turning me on. I tapped Eva again, hoping she would leave, but she ignored me. Adam's hand moved lower, and before I knew it, he was kissing and touching me. Then he stood up and sat between the two of us. He held my hand and started kissing Eva too. To my surprise, she didn't stop him, but kissed him back. I was stunned and didn't know what to think. I couldn't believe what was happening. Things quickly escalated. Adam was touching both of us, and neither Eva nor I objected. He began undressing us, and soon he was naked too. I can't bring myself to describe everything that happened, but we ended up having a threesome right there in his living room. It felt like a dream, like an out-of-body experience. After it was all over, I felt ashamed and disgusted with myself. I grabbed my phone and fled from his apartment with Eva following me, begging me to talk. Adam called me several times, but I didn't know how to feel. I felt betrayed by Eva and totally lost. The next day, Eva came to my place and I told her how betrayed I felt. She apologized, saying she didn't leave because she enjoyed the movie and wanted to see how it ended. She said when Adam started kissing her and I didn't say anything, she thought I was okay with it. She even blamed me for not speaking up. I asked her to leave because I didn't want to talk to her. That night, Adam called again. This time I answered. He apologized for involving Eva, saying he thought I would enjoy it since I didn't say anything. He told me he had liked me from the moment he saw me and wanted to date me seriously, but I was torn. How could I date him after what happened with Eva? I told him I would think about it, but I'm completely confused. On one hand, I really like Adam and he wants to be with me. On the other hand, I feel betrayed by Eva and disgusted with myself. So here is where I need your advice. Should I consider dating Adam despite what happened? Can I continue my friendship with Eva after feeling so betrayed by her? Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Thanks for reading.